Now, there is actually a reason why I'm vice president, and it has a lot to do with the person we're honoring right now, and that is David Schwalm, who is the inventor and custodian and has been of Wpa-l listserv for the last 20 years. And right here, this is Elizabeth van der Leij. Come here, Elizabeth. Elizabeth was David's assistant director of comp at ASU when he started the listserv, and she has just told me that she remembers how much time he spent trying to explain to her why this was cool. But I think a lot of us know why this was cool. And I know the listserv started in '91, and I kind of came into the profession in the mid to late '90s, and for me at least, it really brought me into the field. And I know Teresa Enos, who was president of the organization at the time, kind of pulled me onto a program committee because I shot my mouth off on the listserv. And it was also, I know a lot of us remember certain things from the list. It's been very useful to us in many ways. When I was starting out, one of the people on the list was on the listserv, and a regular contributor was Bob Connors. And when he unfortunately died an untimely death, Irv Peckham actually collected a lot of his posts to the listserv and made them available for a while. And one of them I just want to read to you because it was about the very mundane topic of what happens when you're trying to contact the Four Seas Hotel and you don't get any response. And in this year, 1999, it was in Atlanta, and there was this one hotel nobody seemed to be able to be hearing back from. And so Bob writes this: anyone seeking an actual phone number for what's called the Sheraton Atlanta on the reservation sheet may feel like they've entered some bizarre parallel universe in which whole hotels disappear in a burst of social deconstruction. The Sheraton chain, I found, knows nothing about this hotel. After much dogged calling and actual conversations with a variety of nice folks in Atlanta, I finally figured out the deal. The Marriott chain used to own the Spirit of Atlanta Hotel, but they sold it to a group of businessmen who also own at least one Sheraton in Atlanta. This deal is in progress, so the hotel is temporarily called neither the Marriott Spirit of Atlanta, nor the Sheraton Atlanta, nor the Sheraton Spirit of Atlanta for that matter, but simply the Spirit of Atlanta Hotel. They have been receiving reservations, though no one I know has gotten a confirmation in the mail. You can call them to check at this number, 800-833-8624. I faxed in my reservation last week and got a confirmation number from them at the conference rate. Just note that number, the research heritage. So, anyway, for David, who has made so many things possible, so many conversations for us, we have tonight
a proclamation. Whereas all WPAs are in need of social sustenance.
And whereas social networking sites like Facebook are a fairly recent development.
And whereas you really can't talk about professional stuff on Facebook anyway.
And whereas it's nice to be able to get good advice when your dean threatens to cut your program.
And your instructors stop coming to class.
And your accrediting agency wants you to implement an assessment program.
And you can't figure out how to fill out the online Four Seas proposal form.
And your colleagues in other departments are complaining about the first-year composition course.
And your colleagues in other departments are complaining about the writing center.
And your Four Seas proposal acceptance is delayed.
And the Four Seas proposal is rejected.
And your colleagues in your department are complaining about the high schools.
And your administrator asks you to justify what you do for that release time you get.
And your dean wants you to use SAT verbal scores for placement.
And you can't seem to get the Four Seas conference rate at the hotel.
And you can't figure out how to get tenure.
And your graduate student needs a completed survey.
And you're designing a composition theory course and would like reading suggestions.
And you're designing a course in writing program administration and would like reading resources.
And you're wondering how to balance your teaching and scholarship.
And whereas listservs evolved to provide commiseration and help in situations like these.
And whereas by so doing, listservs help create a professional community of scholars.
And whereas by
administrators. Nevertheless, WPA-L has benefited the members of CWPA greatly by providing these services.
Therefore, be it proclaimed that the Council of Writing Program Administrators honors David Schwalm for his creation and stewardship of WPA-L lo these 20 years on this, the 14th day of July in the year 2011.